In the previous chapter, children, do you remember we had done the Mughal rule, right? The Mughal Empire, how Mughal
Yes,
rule were
ma'am.
there.
Yes,
So who
ma'am.
was the founder? Before I start with this chapter of Sher Shah Suri, let us just revise who was the founder of the Mughal Empire.
Babur.
Zahiruddin Muhammad.
Zahiruddin
Zahiruddin
Babar.
Muhammad
And
Babur.
who was the successor after him?
His son
Humayun.
Humayun.
Son
His son
Humayun.
Okay. What was the ruling period of Humayun? What was the ruling period?
1530 to 1540.
Is there anything notable during his new ruling period?
Yes,
Ma'am,
ma'am. It
yes,
was
Yes,
ma'am.
divided
It's
ma'am.
into
Ma'am,
two
it
It
parts.
was
was
divided.
It was divided
ruling
into
period.
Two parts.
why?
Two parts.
Why it was divided into two parts, children?
Ma'am, because he was
Because in
defeated by
Shah
because
Suri conquered.
because Sher had conquered
Hmm.
Delhi
Yes,
and
yes,
replaced
because there we come across a new name that was Sher Shah Suri, who had,
he had replaced
defeated
Mughal
him,
rule
and
with
therefore he
Afghan.
had to escape. Now, how did Sher Shah Suri defeated? What were the battles all about? Which
Ma'am,
battles?
the Battle of Kanuj.
And
And Battle of
And
Chausa.
Battle of Chausa.
okay, what happened
Yeah.
in these battles?
Ma'am, in the
Kannauj and
battle of
Chausa.
Ma'am, in the Battle of Chausa, ma'am, Humayun he was caught off guard due to
Huh?
Sher Khan's sudden attack, and thus
Right,
he was defeated. And in the Battle
right.
of Kannauj, ma'am, again Sher Khan only won, and this sealed the fate of Sher Khan as the emperor of Delhi.
And ma'am, so
Right.
he ran away, ma'am.
Yes.
Right.
In
So he ran
exile.
away. He escaped it. Now, it is but obvious. If he escapes, means what? The Mughal Empire came to an was ended.
About to get
And then
end.
who took
No,
over the
ma'am.
control? It was
Sher
Sher Shah. Okay.
Sher
So
Khan Suri.
let's go on to the next page. I think this page is not there in your textbook.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go on to the next page. You will get a brief idea about Sher Shah. So basically, Sher Shah had established Afghan rule in India for 15 years. Please underline this. He had established Afghan rule for 15 years. From which year to which year, children?
1540 to
Ma'am,
1550.
1540 to 1555.
1545.
1555. Now, this Mughal rule was interrupted. As we know, this Mughal rule was interrupted by Sher Shah Suri, right? And it was he basically just underline the attributes of Sher Shah Suri. He was the great warrior, and he had set up his empire on political measures and schemes. Okay, he had a great administrative skills. Okay, you need to remember that he was he had great administrative schemes. Now, his territory which he conquered was known as the Suri Empire, okay, or the second Afghan. Please underline that. So he was the founder of the Suri Empire, that is the Suri dynasty, okay, which he named after his name, Sher Shah Suri. Now, from childhood, he was known for his administrative work, and he even expanded his empire from Bengal. Now, he was the one who had founded his empire in the Bihar province of India. All right. Now we all know that basically before coming to power, let me just give you a brief introduction about how he slowly and gradually rise to power. He was the one who was first working with Babur in his court, all right, and then he was the one who learned most of the strategies and most of the things from Babur. And when he came to know that Humayun would be the next successor, and in absence of Humayun, what he used to do, he used to take the administrative responsibility on the, okay, so this is how slowly and gradually he became a brilliant administrator. So this happens in most of the Indian movies as well. In the palace, if you have a person who is working for the king, he learns from the king all the strategies, all the administrative policies and all, and then he is the one who aspires to become the next king, to take up the next throne, right? Similarly happened with Sher Shah Suri. Please underline this. After the victorious battle of Chausa and Kannauj, which was against Humayun, what did Sher Shah do? He was able to occupy Bihar. He was able to occupy Agra and Delhi. Sorry, Agra, Delhi, and Lahore. Okay, so these were the territories which were occupied by Sher Shah after defeating Humayun. Now, it is but obvious if it is not just that we need to conquer a territory, we need to take up the territory. What is more important other than conquering the territory is
And the
And
administrative.
the
the
administration.
The
administrative protection,
administration.
right? Protection is also important of the
Yes,
territory.
ma'am.
So, right now he had two enemies. One was the Rajputs and other was the Mughals. Please underline. He had to keep watch over the Rajputs and the Mughals constantly, so that he could protect his territory from these enemies,
Hmm.
right? But then gradually he died because of his accidental death. What was the accidental death? Let us understand how did Sher Shah Suri died. Because of the accidental, he was severely wounded in an explosion during the siege of the Kalingar fort. Okay, so when they were trying to capture the Kalingar fort, there was an explosion, and because of that explosion Sher Shah was severely wounded, and therefore he died in the year 1545. And where was he buried?
I'm in
Sasaram in
Saram,
Bihar.
Bihar.
Sasaram in
Sasaram in
Bihar.
Bihar. Please
Bihar.
underline. How did Sher Shah died?
Ma'am, during an
So severely
explosion in the
wounded
siege of
during the
Kalinjar Fort.
expedition during the siege of
Yes.
Kalinga.
When there was
Hmm.
when they were trying to conquer seize Kalingar fort, at
Kalinjar
that
Fort.
time what had happened? There was an explosion, and because of that explosion he was severely wounded. Right now, now, as we know now, this is Sher Shah. During his rule, he was able to remove Humayun, take up the throne. All right. Then he had administered. He conquered the territories. He was protecting his territory from the Rajputs, from the Mughals, and because of this accidental death, he died. But then now, as the tradition, who would become the next
His
ruler? Then
son.
his son. Who was his son?
Islam
Please
Shah.
underline.
Islam Shah.
Islam
Islam
Shah.
Shah.
Very good. Sher Shah was succeeded by his son, who was known as Islam Shah. Now, see, Islam Shah took up the throne after his father. But again, every ruler who takes up the throne has enemies, right? So here, but
Hmm.
in Islam Shah's case, who was the enemy? The enemy was his own brother. There were internal
Hmm.
conspiracy in his own territory only. Okay, so because of his brother's, conspiracies, first of all, this Sher Shah Suri, the Suri dynasty became weak, and gradually it declined. Why? Because there were lots of conspiracies and lots of rebellions after the death of Islam Shah. All right, and therefore this Suri dynasty declined after the death of Islam Shah. Who is
And
Islam Shah?
ma'am, then
Because I son of
son of
Son of
Sher Shah.
Sher Shah Suri.
Shri.
Okay, so
Hmm.
basically, see please underline that internal strife within his own camp, which was led by Adil Shah. Okay, his brother's name was
Hmm.
Adil Shah. Okay, because of that, what had happened? The Suri dynasty had become weak. And why did
Hmm.
it decline gradually? After Islam's death, along with because of the various conspiracies, because of the various rebellions, it had declined. The Suri dynasty declined. Can I please underline that? Islam's death, along with conspiracies and rebellions, led to the decline of the Suri dynasty.
And this is a gift reason question, right,
Yes, so
ma'am?
you
Yes,
you you
ma'am.
will you might get a give reason question also, that how did the Suri dynasty decline? All
And
right.
ma'am, this was a great opportunity for Humayun to come back.
Right. Now it was a great opportunity. He was very smart. He was looking for because until Sher Shah was there, he could not make a comeback. Now, when he saw that, okay, this dynasty after Sher Shah died, the strong, if you do not have the strong leader, automatically, the territory, the dynasty declines. So automatically, when he got this news, instantly he took the action. He took it as a right opportunity, and he made his comeback. Right? He came. Such a weekend empire provided. Please underline this. It provided opportunity to Humayun to strike again. That means to fight again and to regain his Mughal power. Got it? Now, what about Sher Shah? Basically, please underline the qualities of Sher Shah which he had. Number one was that he was a brilliant administrator. Just underline this. He was a brilliant administrator. Setting up a clear administration helped in creating peace, order, prosperity, and in his empire. Okay, he was the one who had set up the administrative system so properly that it created peace, order, and prosperity in the empire. All right. Have you all understood till your children?
Yes, ma'am.
I went on telling you all in the form of a story so that it becomes easier for you all to understand, also to remember also. Okay, it was just a storytelling method which I used to explain this
And
to
ma'am, I underlined in my
yes.
book.
Okay. Let's see the central administration. Sher Shah was the head and sole authority of the central administration. Okay, please underline. Who was the sole authority of the central administration? It was Sher Shah. Now, using administrative setup in Delhi, of the Delhi Sultans, Sher Shah improvised by dividing the administration under various departments. So what did he do? Whatever administrative setup he had got from the Delhi Sultans. Delhi Sultans means what? Delhi Sultans
From the
means?
five Delhi
Five
Sultanates.
Yes. He used that, and what did he do? He divided the entire administrative system into different departments. Okay, for example, click on the image. We have the Department of Finance, Department of Armed Force, Department of Foreign Affairs, Internal Affairs. Okay, administrative department, intelligence. The name given by them was different. Okay, that is called Divani Wizarat, Divane Arz, Divane Rasalat, Divane Insha, Divane Iqza, Divane Qaza, and Divane Barit. Okay, so you just need to remember these were the departments, to make sure that, just close the image, to make sure that he has the administrative system works properly. He divided into different departments. Similarly, we also have in school now, we have different departments for different subjects, isn't it? We have a history department, English department, science department, maths department. Why? So that all departments work individually and the work is perfect, right? And every department brings up with new activities every month, isn't it, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So provincial administration. So this was his central administration where he divided the administrative setup into departments. Now let's see his provincial administration. He restructured the provincial administration with a village being the smallest unit, followed by a paragana. That paragana means group of villages which formed a sheikh or sarkar, which was a province. There were 47 sarkars in his Suri empire. Okay? So what did he do? He restructured the entire provincial administration. Okay? Provincial administration, what did he do? He divided the provinces into small units. Okay? These small units, what did he called as paragana? Okay? Paragana means what? A group of villages which would you can say a sarkar who would rule a small unit which has been divided by him, and altogether how many paraganas, how many sarkars he was able to form?
47.
Sarkars.
Yes. So there were a total of 40. Please underline, there were 47 sarkars in Suri dynasty or Sur dynasty, and you also underline that the administrative in the village was divided into small unit, which was followed by paragana. Okay, got it? Sarkar, you all know the meaning of sarkar?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. We say it in
Yes, ma'am.
Marathi.
Yes. At the village level, the muqaddam functioned as the village head. Okay, please underline. In village mein, who was the person who functioned as the village head? It was a muqaddam.
Muqaddam.
Muqaddam. Okay, he was a link between the government and the village and was responsible for maintaining law and order in the village. Every village also had a patwari or record keeper who worked for the village. Okay, so this is, see, central administration means to a larger level. Provincial administration means in the small provinces. Okay, how he made sure that in the small provinces also the administrative system worked properly. So basically he appointed a person, a village head, whom he called it as muqaddam. And what was his duty of this muqaddam? He was a intermediator. Okay,
Ma'am, he was a link between the government and the village and was
village.
responsible for maintaining law and order.
And also he was responsible for maintaining law and order in the village. Please underline, link between government and village and responsible to maintain law and order. That's it. Okay, so, and who was the person, you know, who would keep the record of the village? What was he known as?
Patwari.
Patwari. Very good. Please
Patwari.
underline Patwari. So you know what is Patwari. Just underline Patwari. All right, next. The Shikdar was responsible for a paragana. He would collect the revenue from the paraganas and was assisted by clerks or karkuns. They kept records in both Hindi as well as in Persian. The Munsif measured the land and the Kongungo, okay, maintained records for the paragana. The treasurer of the paragana was the Fotadar. Okay, so see, if basically he was dividing the responsibilities, okay, and he was giving those responsibilities to each and every section so that the entire administrative system works smoothly, right? That is how you can just look at the school administrative system just to make sure that the school administration system runs smoothly. What does the principal do? Divides it into departments, and in each department gives assign, you know, heads, assign tasks.
I'm like a coordinator, ma'am.
You have
Ma'am, each grade is a village, ma'am.
right? So what does these do? These tasks, these heads, if she assigns that, what happens? They make sure that the administrative system
Ma'am, each
works.
section is a village and each grade is a group of village.
Yes, got it. So this is, I am referring it to your school so that you know you can understand and correlate it very easily. So now, first of all, who was responsible for the paragana? It was the Shikdar. Underline this. Okay, these are the names given by them. Okay, now, and who was the person who would help the paragana in collecting the revenues?
Clerks or karkuns.
Those are karkuns. Help the paragana to collect the revenue. ठीक है, paragana की कौन help करता था to collect the revenue? It was the karkuns. Okay, now they also kept the record in Hindi as well as in the Persian language. Okay, who would measure the land?
Munsif.
Munsif.
Underline these names: karkuns, munsif. And who would maintain the records for the
Kanungo.
Yes. And who would be the treasurer of the paragana?
Fotadar.
So what is this? The duties given to each people, and these names were given by them. So that's the reason it sounds very weird to you all, because now in this century,
No, ma'am, I like these names. They are even better than our century names.
Is it? Okay, but it is very easier to remember because these names are, you know, most of them would correlate with these names. Munsif.
Ma'am, they correlate with their functions, ma'am.
Yes, with their functions. True. The Shikdar Shikdaran, okay, that is the headed by the Sarkar. Okay, please underline this. Headed the Sarkar and functioned as the supervisor and officer over all the Shikdars. Okay, you forgot the main point and underline the rest. Okay, so like we have the coordinator, who's the who would be the supervisor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have teachers, you have HODs, you have coordinators. So over here also, who is the supervisor?
I'm the Shikdar E Shikdaran.
Shikdaran. Okay, so that would be the supervisors. Okay, over here, who is the supervisor in your school? It is the coordinators. They supervise whether each department is doing their work properly, right? Whether the HODs are doing the work properly, isn't it? He was responsible for law and order and general administration. The assessment and collection of land revenue was under the preview of the Munsifan. Please underline. Munsif, as I told you, was the person who used to measure the land. Okay, so the one who is measuring the land, he will only be responsible for the collection of the revenue, because according to the measures of the land, he is going to collect the revenues. Okay, got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next is officials were constantly transferred and moved around to curb corruption and greed for power. Now, if you know, if in your societies, if you have watchmen and all, after every 15 days or 8 days, the watchman changes. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And again, you will never see that security again. They keep on rotating in the area. Okay, and they go on to the next building, other society, right? So why do you think they do this?
So that they do not become greedy, ma'am, and do something which they shouldn't
Sorry,
have
so
done.
that can you be louder?
Ma'am, to prevent corruption and greed of money, ma'am.
How they will prevent corruption by changing these watchmen? What do you think?
Ma'am,
What is the
if one watchman stays for longer, ma'am, he himself will think that, ma'am, like he would know all the secrets of the society, ma'am.
right? He would know, okay, this person from this flat goes at this time, comes back at this time. He would know each and every detail about each and every
But
flat.
ma'am, what if he tells the other watchmen's?
Right. No, see
No,
that
not all watchmen are like
that is the reason
secretary keeps a watch on them.
right. That is the reason they have been shifted. They are not kept in one particular place for a longer time. So similarly, you can correlate that with the officials of these provincial administration. Okay, what did he do? He used to constantly transfer the officials from one place to another place, so that there is no corruption and there is no greed for power. See, if you're staying in one particular place for a longer time, you understand every minute details also, right, of that
Yes,
particular place. And therefore, as you will see, he himself, all right, so I was saying something. All right. So basically, that's the reason he wanted to, he shifted, the officials from one place to the other place. Now, what I was saying is, as you know him, this Sher Shah, Suri, which darbar he was working in? Whose darbar?
Ma'am,
Babars.
Right. So if he stayed, he himself had done that. He stayed in that particular palace for a longer time. He understood all the administrative strategies, and then he got that greed for power, isn't it? That's the reason.
Yes,
he
ma'am.
defeated Humayun.
Yes, ma'am.
he took himself as an example, ma'am.
Right. So the person who does the mistake, he will not allow that same mistake to be repeated by the other person, right? As it is said, the thief knows all the places where the other thief would go, right? So definitely he will stop that, right? So that nobody takes over. Next page. All right. So we have a quiz over here now. I want you all to please open your notebooks, everyone. How many years did Sher Shah Suri establish the Afghan Empire?
15 years. 15 years.
Okay, students, please write down the answers first, everyone, and then we will discuss. All right. Write down the answers in your classwork books. Once you all are done, then you all can make out. Okay. Okay, let's submit that. Let's see if 15 years is correct. Very good. Very nice. Next question. Sher Shah Suri expanded his empire by capturing Bengal after defeating Dash. First, write it down in your notebooks. Whom did he defeat? That's very simple.
Ma'am, Khizr Khan.
Hmm?
First,
Ma'am, may
write down
I?
in your textbooks.
Written.
Yes. Now tell.
Khizr Khan.
Yes. See, it
Mm.
is talking about the capturing of Bengal province, okay? Not about the Mughal Empire. So please make sure you all do not confuse yourself. Let's go on to the, let's check. Very good. It's the correct answer. Let's go on to the next question. Sher Shah occupied Agra, Delhi, and Lahore, thus gaining control over all dash territories. Write it down.
Ma'am, may I see the answer?
Write it
can I
down.
see?
Write it down.
Ma'am, written.
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
Yes, Joshua.
Sher Shah occupied Agra, Delhi, and Lahore, thus gaining control over all the Mughal territories.
Very good. Very good. Let's see if Joshua
telling
is
is
correct.
oh.
Ma'am
Very
is
good.
correct.
Superb, Joshua. Superb. Next. There were dash sarkars in the Suri dynasty.
Ma'am,
Write
Ma'am,
it
can
down.
I?
Write it
Ma'am,
down.
this is very
Yeah,
ma'am,
easy.
written, ma'am.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Done.
Yes, Aditya.
Ma'am, 47.
Very nice.
Yes, sir.
Very nice. All right. So let's see. You have last question. The dash was responsible for a paragana. I made you all underline this. Let's see how many of you all know the
Ma'am.
answer.
No, Sharkar is the wrong answer. Ma'am,
Yes, Mariam. Yes,
ma'am,
Mariam.
Shikdar. Ma'am, the Shikdar.
What about the rest?
Ma'am, it is
Shikdar.
Shikdar.
Shikdar, ma'am.
Ma'am, it is Shikdar.
Ma'am, Shikdar.
All right. Let's go ahead. Very good, Mariam. Very good. Keep it up. Keep it up. So let's talk.